Hey, what's up guys, it's Gorilla Hands. I hope you guys like the customized Halloween style introduction that I made for the Forum YouTube channel. Unfortunately, I wasn't really happy with the final animation that I rendered out just because it was a little too short for what I would have wanted to see, and the way the camera pans down, it's too abrupt and it just doesn't move as smoothly as I would have liked. And I would have liked to have gone back into my 3D editing software, retweak everything, render it out all over again, and go that path. But it would have taken forever to re-render that introduction. It probably would have been done sometime tomorrow, and tomorrow would have been too late. So instead, I made the changes in my video editing software. Came out a little better, but still not exactly what I wanted to see. And on top of that, there was other things that I wanted to incorporate into the introduction as well. I just did not have the time. It takes forever to render some of this stuff out. But maybe next year I can make it slightly more elaborate. But yeah, whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed that custom Halloween introduction. Playing a little World at War, some TDM gameplay. I really don't remember what happens in this game. I think there's a modder that's flying around. And I noticed that it's a 9-minute TDM match. And honestly, any TDM that lasts longer than 7 minutes is starting to take too long, at least for me. Normally when a TDM match lasts as long as this, it means one of three things. One, you're facing a ton of campers. There's just dudes not willing to move. They're all hiding in corners. Even if you kill them, they respawn and hide again. That's one of the reasons why TDM matches last as long as they do. The other thing could be you're facing a team of maybe 2 or 3 people. So you got a squad of 6 and you're facing 2. Just in those types of situations, it just takes forever. And the final thing could be you're on a large map. Like in Modern Warfare 2, Wasteland was a good example. Or is it Derailed? The snow map. I hated that map in Modern Warfare 2. And this is another huge map. This is probably why the TDM lasted as long as it did, just running around trying to find people. I don't even know the name of this map, but I'm never a big fan of large maps for TDM. Unless you're sniping, but I don't snipe very often at all in Call of Duty. But I'm not going to talk about the gameplay. Instead, since it's Halloween, I figured I'd talk about scary movies. Yesterday I wasn't doing anything at all. I was being really lazy. I was watching TV, and most channels were just showing scary movies, so I had a chance to see a few. And all of them were pretty bad. I honestly, I can't think of a horror movie that's been critically acclaimed or it's received an award from an accredited organization. Like, has there ever been a horror movie that's gotten an Oscar before? I can't think of any. I think it's almost a general rule of thumb that all horror movies are horrible. I mean, they're not all bad, but typically you don't have high expectations whenever you go into a scary movie. I saw a lot of bad ones yesterday. I saw Prom Night, which I would never recommend going to see. That was just absolutely bad. The acting was horrible. The story was stupid. I did not like the ending at all. I didn't see the beginning of it, so I have no idea why this killer was chasing these people on surprise, their prom night. But yeah, it was just bad. I would not go see that movie at all. And that movie did one of the things that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. And it's not, horror movies aren't just guilty of this. I mean, TV shows do this and other movies do it as well. And that's where they cast actors that are entirely too old for the role. I know there's not a whole lot of actors out there that could, that are in the age range of, 17 to 19 that could have been in this movie, but at least cast actors that look like they're high school students, or that they could at least be 19 or 20. These people look like they were 30. Just one of my little pet peeves. What else did I see? I saw The Strangers. Liv Tyler was in it. That wasn't as bad. I actually kind of liked it. It didn't rely so much on shock scares as much as it did just on kind of building the mood, and kind of getting in your head. I like that movie a little bit more. Again, nothing amazing, but certainly looked amazing when you compared it to Prom Night. And then finally, I had to see this movie just because it received such negative reviews. Sometimes I want to see a movie that's so bad. Sometimes it's so bad it's good. And so I decided I wanted to see Seasons of the Witch. It was on Netflix. I figured, what the hell, I'd watch it for a little bit. It has Nicolas Cage in it, and the other guy, I don't know his name, but I actually do like him as an actor. I know he's in Sons of Anarchy. I think he was in Hellboy as well. But yeah, that movie was just bad. Just, there's nothing really good about it at all. Acting, again, was really horrible. The story was just dumb. Maybe if you're really bored and you want to see a bad movie, check it out. It's on Netflix, instant stream, so maybe if you're interested, go watch it. But yeah, that's a bad movie. A bad movie that I would recommend going to see, though, or watching it if you ever get a chance, is the remake of the Wicker Man that also has Nicolas Cage. Horrible, horrible, horrible movie. It's so bad that you'll probably end up laughing in the final parts of it. Just the story and the acting is just terrible. But yeah, I found myself laughing when I was watching this movie. It's just so bad. I think it's known as one of the worst movies of all time. But definitely go see that if you get a chance. It's just kind of a memorable experience almost. What are other movies that I've seen? I'll talk about some of the movies that I watched as a kid that kind of scared me. This one right here, Killer Clowns, I think I mentioned it in my Let's Play before, but this movie scared me to death, man, and thinking about it now, the premise was so ridiculous. It's these clowns from outer space that are like vampires. They come to Earth, they turn people into cotton candy, and they drink their blood. Just a dumb story, but the makeup and the suits that these people had, it just freaked me out, man. I have no fear of clowns, but I don't know, at the time as a kid, it just scared me. I'd probably watch it now and I'd be fine, but yeah, back then. Another movie that kind of freaked me out was Night of the Living Dead 2. I didn't see the first one, I saw the second one first, and this is the first zombie movie that I ever had a chance to watch, and I remember what really scared me about it was, one, the concept of being eaten alive. That just sounds like a horrible way to die, because it'd probably take a little while before your body truly kicked into shock. Nah. Bad way to die. That would suck. So that was one of the things that kind of scared me. The other thing is you couldn't kill these zombies. You couldn't shoot them in the head. You couldn't shoot them in the body. There was nothing that could kill them. The only thing that could get rid of the zombies was burning them to ash. And that's not a very practical approach. So yeah, I was thinking to myself, wow, there's nothing you can do to stop these things, and they're going to eat you to death. So yeah, that movie kind of scared me when I was younger. Hellraiser 2, again, that's another movie that I saw Hellraiser 2 first. I didn't see the original movie. That movie scared me more because I was not used to the amount of gore that they had present in it. It was like some gateway to hell, and these demons came out and they would torture you and kill you by your worst fear. Oh man, it was just it was really gory, and they had all these hooks that they threw into people's bodies and stuff. I'm fine watching it now, but at the time I was like, oh man, this is brutal, very visceral stuff. And another movie that actually gave me nightmares after watching it was Event Horizon. I actually love this movie. It's a really good movie. Well, it's not an amazing movie, but it is pretty good for a horror movie. It's got Lawrence Fishburne in it and the guy from Jurassic Park, the first one. Not Jeff Goldblum, the British guy. I think he's British. I don't remember his name. I haven't seen him in a movie in quite some time. But yeah, there's just some spaceship that disappeared for a couple of years and then reappeared around Jupiter, and another ship has to go find it, find out what happened to the crew, and then bring it back to Earth. Well, they get there, they find that the ship's abandoned, the crew's gone, and they eventually learn that the ship traveled to Hell, and they see the logs of what happened to the ship and all these different videos. And again, that's another movie that I wasn't used to that amount of gore, and it has a good mixture of both shock scares and kind of psychological thriller, and it's actually not bad. I actually would recommend, out of all the movies I've suggested, it's probably the best one that I've seen. Would recommend going to see that. What is something else? I'm trying to think of other movies that I've seen. Oh, Blair Witch Project. I didn't really like that movie all that much. That got a lot of acclaim just because it was done in such a weird style. It got so much hype around it when I finally saw it, I just wasn't really that impressed. What I will say is I didn't know they were making that movie for a little while, and I started watching like the Sci-Fi Channel, and there's a documentary on the Blair Witch Project, but they were doing it as if it was a real documentary, and for a little bit of time I thought it was legit. I was like, oh man, these students disappeared and they found their tapes, oh my god. And then they did a promo for the movie during the documentary. I was like, oh, that sucks. That would have been so badass if that was real. That would have been super scary. But hope you guys are having a great Halloween. Let me know what your favorite scary movie is, and like always, take it easy.